Good morning, everyone. We are the Group 2, and we'll be reporting on the proclamation of the Philippine independence. My name is Dexter Lopez Hoffman,
My name is Charlie Cesar Piazza.
My name is Francis J. Castillo Salazar.
and we are the Group 2.
Who is Emilio Aguinaldo? Emilio Aguinaldo, born of March 20, 1869, near Cavite, Luzon, Philippines. Dead of February 6, 1964, Quezon City, Filipino, leader of politician who fought first against Spain and later against the United States of the independence of the Philippines. Early life of Emilio Aguinaldo. Aguinaldo was a Chinese in Tagalog percentage. He attended San Juan de Latrian College of Manila, but left school early to help his mother run the family farm. In the August 1869-96, he was the mayor of Cavite, Vejo, present-day Cavite adjacent of Cavite City. And he was the local leader of the Katipunan and Revolutionary Society that fought bitterly and successfully against the Spanish.
My name is Sarojane Alacapa. The role of Emilio Aguinaldo. In December 1897, Emilio Aguinaldo assigned an agreement called the Pact of the Acna Batu to the Spanish Governor-General. Aguinaldo agreed to leave the Philippines and to remain permanently in exile on condition of a substantial financial reward from Spain coupled with a promise of liberal funds, while first in Hong Kong and then in Singapore. He made arrangements with representatives of the American consulates and of Commodore George Dewey to return to the Philippines to assist the United States in the war against Japan. Aguinaldo returned to the Philippines on May 19, 1898 and announced renewal of the struggle with Spain. The Filipinos, who declared their independence from Spain on June 12, 1898, proclaimed a provisional republic of which Aguinaldo was to become president, and in September, a revolutionary assembly met and ratified Filipino independence.
The proclamation of Philippine independence was proclaimed on the 12th of June, 1898, in the province of Cavite. It is an event that is a significant turning point in Philippine history because it signaled the end of the 330 years of Spanish colonization. The declaration was a short 2,000-word document which summarized the reasons behind the revolution against Spain, the War of Independence, and the future of the new republic under Emilio Aguinaldo. The proclamation begins with the characterization of the conditions in the Philippines during the Spanish colonial period. The document states the abuses and inequalities in the colony. The declaration states, taking into consideration that their inhabitants being already aware of bearing the ominous yoke of Spanish domination on account of the arbitrary arrest and harsh treatment practiced by the civil guard to the extent of causing death with the connivance and even to the express orders of their commanders, who sometimes went to the extreme of ordering the shooting of prisoners under the pretext that they were attempting to escape in violation of the provision of the regulation of their corps, which abuses were unpunished, and on account of the unjust deportation, especially those decreed by General Blanco of eminent personages and of high social position, at the instigation of the archbishops and friars interested in keeping them out of the way of their own selfish and avaricious purposes. Deportations are quickly brought about by the method of procedure more execrable than that of the Inquisition, which every civilized nation rejects on account of the decision being rendered without the hearing of the person accused. These passages demonstrate the justification behind the revolution against Spain. The highlights of this passage are the abuse of the civil guards, the unlawful shooting of prisoners, the unequal protection of the law, the avarice and greed of the clergy, and lastly, the unjust deportations and rendering of other decisions without proper hearing. Other important details were the brief overview of Spanish occupation with specific details on the Philippine Revolution, the spread of the movement, the execution of Jose Rizal, the Cavite Mutiny of January 1872, the infamous execution of Jose Gorgos, Mariano Gomez, and Jacinto Zamora. Under the proclamation, it establishes that this republic would be led by the rule of Emilio Aguinaldo, as stated in the town of Cavite Viejo in the province of Cavite on the 12th day of June 1898. Before me, Don Ambrosio Riazares Bautista, Auditor of War and Special Commissioner appointed to proclaim and solemnize this act by the dictatorial government of these Philippine Islands, for the eminent dictator of the same, Don Emilio Aguinaldo y Fami. The same is stated at the end of the proclamation, which states, "We acknowledge and approve and confirm, together with the orders that have been issued therefrom, the dictatorship established by Don Emilio Aguinaldo, whom we honor as the supreme chief of this nation, which this day commences to have a life of its own, in the belief that he is the instrument selected by God, in spite of his humble origins, to effect the redemption of this unfortunate people." As foretold by Dr. Jose Rizal, the magnificent verses which he composed when he was preparing to be shot, liberating them from the yoke of Spanish domination, in punishment of the impunity with which their government allowed the commission of abuses by its subordinates. Another noteworthy information from the proclamation is the explanation of Philippine flag that was first waved on the same day. The document states, "And finally it was unanimously resolved that the nation, independent from this day, must use the same flag used heretofore, whose designs and colors are described in the accompanying drawing, and with design representing in natural colors the three arms referred to. The white triangle represents the distinctive emblem of the famous Katipunan society, which by means of its compact of blood urged the masses of the people to insurrection, and the three stars represent the three principal islands of this archipelago, Luzon, Mindanao, and Panay, in which the insurrectionary movement broke out. The sun represents the gigantic strides that have been made by the sons of this land on the road of progress and civilization, its eight rays symbolizing the eight provinces, Manila, Cavite, Bulacan, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Bataan, Laguna, and Batangas, which were declared in a state of war almost as soon as the first insurrectionary movement was initiated, and colors blue, red, and white commemorate those of the flag of the United States of North America, in manifestation of our profound gratitude toward the great nation for its disinterested protection she is extending to us and will continue to extend to us." Here we find the overlooked details that are revealed about the historical meaning behind our national symbol. While there are facts that are omitted, it can be argued that the symbolic meaning can change, but we are certain that the original meaning reveals to us about the historical truths that explain the event which unfolded after the Declaration of Independence on the 12th day of June 1898.
Analysis and summary. When we examine the document on the Declaration of Independence, it is revealed that there are some overlooked historical truths about this important event in Philippine history. These are the following. The Philippine Revolution was an agrarian revolution, according to Philippine Revolution historian Theodore Agoncillo. The common soldier fought for the hopes of owning land. This aspect and realities were unfamiliar to the middle class. Revolutionaries such as Emilio Aguinaldo, Ambrosio Rianzares Bautista, and Felipe Buencamino. Analysis and summary. And aside from the general revolutionary sentiments of that period, we can further get the impression that the revolutionary government of Aguinaldo history seized the struggle for independence. Shown were the significant events that triggered the awakening of the movement, such as the execution of the Gomborza and the failed Cavite Mutiny of 1872. Jose Rizal's legacy was also mentioned in the document. However, the Katipunan as the pioneer of the revolutionary movement was only mentioned once. There were no mention of its founding or its founder, Andres Bonifacio, and his co-founders. This reflects the enmity between Aguinaldo's Magdalo and Bonifacio's Magdiwang. Now, not only that, but the document reflects the politics of the victor. And this shows us that there are certain biases when it comes to the history, and it is the historian's job to analyze and understand these documents in the context of people and institutions surrounding it. It is also important to note that 6 months after the revolutionary government declared the Philippine independence, that the Treaty of Paris was signed on December 10, 1898, which means that the Philippines was sold to the United States for 20 million. This undermined the sovereignty of the Filipinos after their revolutionary victory, which caused the relationship between the Americans and the Filipinos to become unfriendly.
Thank you, everyone.